China's President Xi Jinping is facing concerns beyond Trump's tariffs. He is particularly worried about the growing spread of Christianity in the country. In response, he's implemented a new restrictive law aimed at Christians and the missionaries who serve them. International Christian Concern President Jeff King brought this development to our attention. He joins us now with more. Jeff, this new law took effect May 1st. Tell us more. How does it make life worse for missionaries and Christians already oppressed by the Chinese Communist Party?
Yeah, Gary, it's a great question because, on the surface, it does make life tougher for those that are in the country and trying to spread the faith. So that's the bad news. It's a law that's in a long list of laws that have come under Xi's rule. And here's the bottom line, none of it really makes a difference. So you can make life tougher for the missionaries, but that's not the beating heart of the Chinese church. No matter what he does, the church grows and is triumphant. It's an incredible story.
Well, then, how are Christians in China responding to this? Are missionary organizations calling their missionaries home?
I haven't heard that yet. There are some, but in general, look, most of them operate under the radar. I won't give a lot of detail on that, but the communists all know, the Marxists all know what's going on. So for the most part, those who remain hidden will stay probably until they're caught and thrown out. I think that's the quick answer.
Well, I mean, it's just an ongoing pressure that's continuing here from the CCP. And I understand in Henan province, authorities are now offering rewards to people who report Christians gathering in unregistered house churches. They've always encouraged neighbors to snitch on underground churches and notify police when they witness Christians evangelizing on the street. But this seems a bit different now. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, that is the case. And it definitely is an increase in pressure, an increase in paranoia. And it's part of how communism honestly destroys cultures. This goes back to the Soviet Union. And, when you think about a whole populace that's spying on each other, and it creates paranoia, et cetera. Look, in the end, the church grows best when it's growing in the dark. When the chains are applied, that's what makes the church grow. So that is happening, the greater surveillance. There will be greater surveillance, but the Christians have a long history of dealing with chains and oppression. And again, nothing stops them. It's such a great story.
Well, it seems like the communists misunderstand, the officials misunderstand that you shut down a building. They think they're shutting down the church, or you stop a missionary or so. But as you had mentioned, it just grows. I remember Samuel Lamb told me how the church grew when he was imprisoned and just continued to grow. And then he looked at me and he smiled and said, persecution's good for church. What do you think, Jeff?
Oh my gosh, what a great example. When I was in China years ago, and I had a secret meeting with pastors that had been through the ring. I mean, they had been in the underground prisons, not the underground prisons, but the prison camps for up to 20 years. And I said, what's your biggest worry? And they said, our biggest worry, and they were in a time of lessened restrictions. They said, our biggest worry is that the pastors under us, the ones we're mentoring, are not being attacked. They're not being hunted down and tortured and killed like we were. So that echoes what Pastor Lamb was saying. And it's just the truth. I can never understand, the Marxist leaders, how they don't get this. The more you press down, the more the church spreads.
And the official government, the three self-patriotic churches, are involved in the Sinicization of Christianity. It really is disguised as a government effort to advance unity in Chinese society, but it seems like its true goal is to eradicate the Christian faith in the country. So what do you think about that, what they're doing?
Oh, absolutely. What a great point. That's absolutely true. And for those who don't know, there's an official Chinese church. So the Marxist officials are always pressing the underground church to move into the open three-self church. But as you said, this is it's a vehicle for control. And you have to look at Xi as a leader like Mao. So he's created this massive cult of personality. So if you go into one of these churches, you have his picture displayed, his thoughts in a book are spread around. It's a bit craziness. And the underground church stays away from this. And they're like, you can lock me up. You can put us all in prison and torture us. We're not doing that. The church will remain free.
Well, despite this negative news, it seems the Chinese church has an opportunity to win more people to the faith as Trump's 145% tariffs kick in. Factories are closing, Chinese workers are losing their jobs. So, what about that opportunity? What do you think?
Oh my gosh, Gary, it's unbelievable. I think the masses don't know the extreme amount of tension that China is under right now, and it's really Xi and the Marxists are under. And we're getting near what could possibly be a tipping point for the Marxist state. The masses are fed up. They are marching in the streets, especially the students. Huge rallies going on calling for democracy. But when there is that pressure, when there is that pain, that's when people feel the need. So they're looking to democracy, which would be a wonderful thing. But what they really need is faith. And that, as you said, is an open door for the believers to spread the faith.
Okay, a time to be praying. Jeff King, International Christian Concern President. Thank you, Jeff, for keeping us informed on developments in China. God bless you.
Honor to be with you, Gary.